We didn't want to talk about the Intellivision Amico this week. We really didn't. We took off last week from doing a segment.
Don't really want to talk about it this week, but hey, we got stuff to cover, and there just wasn't that much else on the docket. So hit us.
Well, this is kind of important. So there was a second Intellivision Amico, part 2 of the road tour, which only has, I think, 2 dates to show off the Amico publicly. They've done 3 events. The first one was at a Crayola place in Pennsylvania, where all these people from all over the U.S. flew out to hang out that had been supporting it, whatever. Then they did the
entire potential user base. They
did the Boomers event, Boomers in Irvine, California, and they just did an event at a learning center somewhere in Utah. So at the time we said, why are they doing these events? And what did we say? They need footage for
investment opportunities,
for videos to show investors that, hey, people, we have a product in theory, some prototypical form of it. Let's get money from investors, show confidence in them to keep going, because I don't know how much longer they can keep this company afloat, and we'll get into why in a second. So they put out the Boomers video. It's Boomers video. I mean, God. They put out the Boomers video that was a couple minutes long, and I have some thoughts. Ian watched it. I watched Ian's reaction to watching it beforehand. Ian, what are your quick thoughts when you watch this video?
If we're supposed to be seeing how much kids are going to love this, because keep in mind, kids are the target market, not supposedly mid-40s to mid-50s-year-old dudes, we saw very, very little of kids' actual unbridled reactions.
There was like 2 kids that showed up to give a comment.
And everything else was... I don't know who you think you're selling this to, because every time they try to do a video talking about, like, from one of these events, talking about how great it was, it's always influencers who are maybe 30 at the youngest, and then people who are like 40 and 50. And they all have
30. That's you're going young. Okay.
Well, that one dude was like 30, the one who yelled Amico at the end. Like, he was younger looking.
That's not the average.
No, it's not the average at all. But they're all wearing Intellivision shirts. Nothing
or
about
Amico,
it look or Amico swag. None of it looks natural. None of the talking points sound natural. And
I couldn't believe how good the controller was. A lot better than I expected.
Yeah. And a lot of these, even in
damning with faint praise.
Yeah. And in the video, there's a few people who are like, we've been following this, we've been looking forward to trying it. So if you're trying to show us that people who have never experienced the Amico love it when they're introduced to it, you're doing a horrible, horrible job. And that's what you need to show. We already know you have a legion of weird frothing fanboys that will love whatever you put out. What we need to see are people who have no relation to you and have not been following this, trying it and being like, yeah, I want to pay $250 for this to be in my home.
If I'm an investor or someone who stupidly put it, I'll just say $10,000 into this because I think I'm smart and know how to be a business investor.
Fucking shirtless wonder.
Yeah. If I was one of those people, and honestly, if I saw that video, I'd be like, okay, 90% of these people are wearing Intellivision or Amico merchandise or shirts or hats. How does that give me confidence that the general public will respond to this well if you have baked in a positive experience already based upon the people that you told to come out to this from your mailing list only 24 hours before? Remember, this is 24 hours notice to begin with. So even if you had a member of like the games journalism media or other average YouTubers, with the 24-hour notice, you don't even give them a chance to show up. So obviously it's staged at that point.
Right.
There was a report from someone that an investor showed up and was treated well. I really sincerely hope that investor is not on camera praising this, because that would have to be disclosed legally to the FTC. You can't be an investor in something and say, oh, this is amazing, without saying that you have a vested interest in it legally. So then again, Ian, who knows? We know there's issues with the FTC and SEC already, potentially with that. So, the SEC in particular. Intellivision has come back in 2021. Good to see the brand back out there. Well, here's the thing, though. If you wanted Intellivision games, they were available on collections, digital and physical, since the 90s. You could have got them for the PC. They had the collections on PS2, and digital ones had come out. So it's not like Intellivision has been gone. It's just now we're trying to do hardware again.
Right.
It's a strange sort of thought to be like, either it's not significant that because it wasn't a console, but like Intellivision has been around. It's just that you didn't notice because Intellivision as a property is so far down the totem pole that you don't notice it when they come out with stuff.
Right.
You didn't notice the Kickstarter that we talked about 4 years ago, where they tried to do like the reboots of like, remember of Night Stalker?
Yeah,
and Star Trek?
I remember that.
It failed.
That
Mike
was
Kennedy
so far
was involved with that. Remember?
Yep.
And the late Keith Robinson. No one cared when that happened. No one cared. So it's strange. And then someone said it is going to fly off the shelves. That is something that nobody
ever actually says. Like, it sounds so forced. Like, hey, please say something about how fast this is going to sell.
No potential consumer of a video game product cares about whether or not other people are going to buy it to the extent that it gets, that you can't keep on the shelves. That's just something that's okay. Something that the investors will like. So some of the comments real quick. I'm going to go through a couple of the comments, the top comments here in response to this. Not the great positive negative ratio you'd want to hear. The pinned comment here is from someone who lost $10,000 investing in this. This is the most baffling console release since the Ouya. Will it be a train wreck or a niche success? I'm subscribed just to see it through to the end. Can we see the UI in physical media already? By the way, Ian, how much of the gameplay was actually shown in this video?
Like none.
Less than 10 seconds? You want to be generous?
Very, very
like 10
little.
seconds, 12 seconds at most? The only thing I was interested in with the Amico was the 30 classic Intellivision remakes. I'm not sure where they're getting the number 30 from.
Yeah, I mean it shows you how bad the messaging is on it, because people keep talking about how much they're looking forward to the classic games reimagined. He's shown nothing of that and talks nothing about it. And I don't think other than just saying
skiing, Night Stalker has been worked on. We think for years,
right?
Utopia hasn't probably been worked on.
Microsurgeon.
No, the iMagic stuff, Microsurgeon.
I know people want
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Someone said, I can't wait for Toe Jam and Earl. What? Will these be at Walmart, Target?
Can't wait for Toe Jam. Okay.
What?
There was, I think, talk at one point about getting that Toe Jam and Earl game on the system.
Fingers crossed this comes out before Christmas or the kids will be devastated. That has to be sarcastic. This is not coming out for Christmas.
There are plenty of people who still believe Tommy is not a liar and a cheat.
Oh, okay. This person says, so now the release date has been pushed back again until the end of the year. How many more times is it going to be pushed back? Finally found out the prices of the games after asking repeatedly how much they're going to be. With launch, we get 6 games included, and the game prices will be between $3 and $10. However, how do we buy them? Do we have to go to a gaming store or what? So this is someone not following this that might be interested, and they have no clue.
It's amazing that
the messaging is terrible.
It's amazing that he spends a lot of time making sure that 5 YouTubers with low subscriptions know everything that's going on, but
not the paying potential customers.
But the actual investors get updates days after everyone else does, and they still have no idea what's going on.
This is a potential customer.
Oh, okay.
I think that was excited about this. But you're right about that. The investors on a Republic don't get updates regularly.
No,
they don't at all. Which we'll get into that in a bit. Come on now. We've already seen a decent number of these people in previous videos. Why are people traveling across the country in Amico merchandise to appear in these videos? Well, I don't know if someone traveled across the country for this one, but they did for the Crayola event. We know that for sure.
Yeah.
Where's New Earthworm Jim? Okay, so people are not excited. And finally, this top comment: Do these people work for Intellivision? Can we get away from commercial promo plans to actual gameplay, please? I've still yet to see the operating system in real actual gameplay. So. They put out another video recently, Ian, which was I was scratching my head about why you put out a video. This was at their second company headquarters in Salt Lake City. A modern corporate building that you rent out, I suppose. I looked it up. It looked like it was construction a couple years ago. A brand new, beautiful, modern building, swaggy looking building. So they did a tour of it You didn't watch the video. You know, if you want to go through it with the audio off, an 8-minute video. My takeaway from that is that this is one of the reasons why they're running out of money. They delayed this for a year. They have employees and overhead like this that probably isn't cheap. This is a huge office space they rented out.
This is a nice office space that they rented.
Very nice. Not saying it's not bad. Big office space. It's probably the entire floor. Super modern. Most of it's empty, though, which goes into probably why do you need that much space to begin with? But this is what you're investing in at this point. So in this video, he talks to some of the employees, people talking about someone trying to set up logistics. Some guys in their 60s. I think he actually said 65 years combined experience. He used the combined experience line between a couple people. But the main takeaway is this, is that there's Nick Richards, the COO, who we'll talk about in a bit. The main takeaway is this, is that this video comes off as, we are doing fine. See, we have employees. They have workstations and laptops and tons of monitors that aren't being used, by the way. I hope they don't. Is that part of renting the space? They get all those free monitors. I mean, there's so much space not being used here. There's more empty space than space being used. So the main takeaway though is that they go to the QA for employees. Once they've been working there for a year, playing Space Strikers.
Right.
Remember Space Strikers? It was a German company or
neat looking game
somewhere in Europe. There
doesn't look bad.
Yeah, but it's not going to be exclusive, by the way. It's going to be, I think, other platforms. They were saying that, like maybe Switch. So these 4 guys are playing the game, and Tommy, busts in on them trying to talk about it. And
trying to see if they're using Intellivision controllers or phones. I think some of them are using Intellivision controllers.
Yeah, I think they are. If they weren't by this point, oh my god.
Yeah.
So the main takeaway though is that these 4 employees are doing their job, and Tommy's trying to chit chat and sort of insert himself in the conversation. It's just like, I'd say, like, leave these people alone, let them do their job.
Let them do their job.
But again, this is just another sort of thing to show investors. There's no one interested in the console should want to see this.
No, as a matter of fact, and I don't know that investors really should want to see this either, because they're currently doing another round of fundraising for the system to get it out, yet we're opening grand offices in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Tommy is doing everything to skip ahead to the part where he's a successful CEO without releasing anything.
Without making money.
Yeah.
Without actually having
it really does feel like CEO cosplay at this point.
Yeah. The one thing I'm going to say...
How do you have 2 offices of this size?
Yeah.
With nothing to show?
Financial person said best job ever. With a gun to his head. They did say there are 40,000, this is what Tommy said, physical game products in the U.S. There's 10,000 still in Poland for European distribution, and there's 40,000 here. Could this be the first time in the history of a new gaming console, potential, Ian, where they're going to sell the games or how to play the games versus the console coming out? Could we potentially see this? Well, has there been a time before where they might have done something like this potentially?
Not that I can think.
We're going to sell you, can't call them games, the physical products to download the games, but we don't know when the console's coming out yet. But we're going to sell you this. I don't know if this has happened before, but I think this is going to happen to raise money. I'll be shocked. I'll be gladly say you told me so. If these are not sold before the console comes out, but I think they're going to sell this. They're going to try to sell this.
I think they're definitely going to try to sell them before the console comes out to make money. If whatever their new crowdfunding situation doesn't work out.
It's basically like selling gift cards for a platform that is not out. That's basically what it is. Right. It's like selling gift cards for a restaurant for an Olive Garden that hasn't opened yet. Like if it's, that's basically what you're doing. It's like, it's a promise of getting something if it ever comes out. Like, that's basically what it is. It's like the early bird kit for the Star Wars figures in '77, but they were making Star Wars figures. They just couldn't get them out in time. Shout out Pixel Dan. He'll appreciate that reference. Oh, and then he says all these controllers are stacked up and charging away. There's a stack of controllers and all these wires of them charging. I wonder if there's charging or battery retention issues with these controllers. I just wonder if they are. Did you see, Ian, the COO's response to someone inquiring about when this is coming out on Republic? Did you see that comment?
Yeah, they said they were still trying to get some shipped out by the end of the year.
But did you see the detail of what they said, though, on top of that, where they want to put these together?
They wanted to put them together in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's if they did that, that would be insane.
Yeah. I mean, they're running out of time to do it.
Not just that though. Okay, someone in investing, Alan said, "Great job, congrats to the entire team." I guess this is because of the Boomers video. They also received an award that was really weird for consumer technology innovation. I'm not sure how you innovate something that hasn't come out yet. So someone said, "Will we make it to market soon? When will we make it on or to the market?" Nick says, the COO, "Our current plan is to start a limited production run here in the U.S. by the end of the year. This allows our engineers to work directly with the manufacturing engineers to work out issues that may arise, avoid time required for trans-Pacific shipping. These U.S. production units will be for founder and VIP pre-orders. We still have not determined how many will be run in the U.S., and they will cost much more to produce, and throughput will be much slower." Okay, well, we will then move production overseas to ramp up production. I don't know if that's smart. I mean, it's good to get out products to people that pre-ordered, but do you really want a very small amount of these out there to certain people? And then someone from like IGN or Arsted will get their hands on one of these.
Yeah, someone's going to get their hands on one.
And actually review it. And then what happens if something's wrong with these, if the back-end servers aren't up, if you can't download some of these games, like this is asking for huge trouble. Plus, just logistically, it's weird they're going to make them front to back here, or are they going to make the parts there, fly the parts over here, and then construct them here? You might as well not even do that. You might as well just construct them all.
I don't think they've thought about it, because I don't think they really have any intentions of doing that.
I don't know. I guess I'll believe it when I see it. I don't know if they would be crazy enough to try that.
It's October, man.
It's October 5th. So you got less than 12 weeks left in the year. You have like 11 weeks left in the year only. All right. Well, that's it. I guess we'll see the
I wanted to bring up one quick thing that you forgot to mention that I thought was kind of important about the video, about the event they just did. Not to harp on the fact that, this was on the launch pad last year and everything was ready to go except for the system. Moon Patrol still has placeholder text in it from Star Fox.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't want to kill him on this too much, but it's pretty bad to in public show off one of your games and you literally couldn't think of like 4 sentences to put in your Moon Patrol game to explain the deep lore of Moon Patrol that you took. Was it from the N64?
I think it was from 64, yeah. I want to point out that, again, when they talk about how far along they are on these things, it's bullshit.
But that's just embarrassing, because that's literally 3-4 sentences to type in. This game has been in development for years.
It would take you
the app came
10 minutes.
The app came out 2 years ago, right? Around 2 years ago. So like you couldn't think of something, to do that.
Well, that's what I find
it's fascinating.
Concerning, the fact that they literally don't have a ready to go. I would think Moon Patrol out of all of these. Moon Patrol skiing. Moon Patrol should be finished, done. And there's still placeholder text.
But
it's just sloppy.
Like you can't think of 20 minutes. You can't think down and think of, the aliens are coming. We have to fight back with our little moon buggy. Like just put that in, and that's it. And no one would say anything. But to take a competitor's, text wholesale like that, that's disconcerting as a loud truck goes by. Basically, so.
All right.
That's the Moon Patrol buggy going by outside.
Moon Patrol buggy. Sounds a little slow.
Yeah, a little bit slow.
Needs to be faster.